At least we got one more game left. One more game left. And then this freaking atrocious ass season is over. One more game. One more freaking game. Okay? It's all bad today. Offense was bad. Caleb was bad. Offensive line was shit. I guess the defense actually showed up and were actually willing to play. They came out and they played for their fans at least one more time. But regardless, it was garbage. Garbage product on a garbage ass season. The Bears lose 10 straight now officially and fall to 4 and 12. They'll be 4 and 13 next week when Malik Willis beats our ass. Anyways, I'm done. I'm I'm ready for this season to be over with. I'm ready to see if the Bears are going to move off on Ryan Poles, and I'm ready to see who the fuck the next head coach going to be for this goddamn team to turn this shit around. Because it's just completely awful. It was just completely awful today. Awful product. You know, so that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't really care anymore. I'm honestly just done. I'm mentally drained. This team on a week by week basis continues to piss me off in ways that I can't even be pissed off anymore. But it's always something new. Always something new. Now this week the offense can't get nothing fucking started. Offensive line can't fucking block for shit. I'm done, dude. Who cares? I'm ready for the season to end. Just like how each and every player is playing like how the season's ready to end and they want to go on their vacations, I'm ready for the season to end too. I'm done. It's over. I guess the fans finally had the balls to just start chanting sell the team. Next Bears home game, that's what they should be chanting. Every home game going forward, that's what they should be chanting. Even when we fucking win, they should be chanting sell the goddamn team. It's stupid, man. It's stupid. And funny enough, CM Punk on Christmas, on yesterday on Christmas on the Netflix broadcast, because he was out there promoting WWE Raw, he ended up going on the broadcast for the Steelers game and basically talking about, well, nothing's gonna freaking change until the McCaskies sell the team. There's always that 5% of me that always believes that, um, that always believes that despite the McCaskies owning the team, things can change. They just got to hire the right head coach. But then that other 95% is like, stop being in fucking denial. This team is not going to change, even if they get the right head coach, because at the end of the day, the people up top in this entire organization is a complete shit show. They're a joke. They don't know football operation. And until they do sell the team to somebody competent that is willing to take the team and invest the team in the football side of the things and not the business operations and not look at the brand, well, then maybe, you know, things will get better until they do sell the team. But it's a joke, man. From top to bottom, it's a joke. You know, Caleb Williams only had a thing. He's either gonna get sacked like 6 or 5 more times until he breaks David Carr's record for most sacks given up in one NFL season. That's on Ryan Poles, ladies and gentlemen. That's on Ryan Poles. Continue to go let your drafted quarterback continue to get sacked while you did not build an offensive line. Again, the offensive line should have been starting to be built the moment he first got here. One of his freaking press conferences, his introduction press conference, was legitimately talking about we're going to build through the fucking trenches. And when you got guys like Larry Borum, Jake Curran, Coleman Shelton, then freaking Matt Pryor, and then you got your only one solid, offensive line player in Darnell Wright as the right tackle. You wonder why your offensive line gives up 6, 7 sacks tonight. At some point, they were basically bringing the entire fucking house. The Seattle Seahawks were going engage 8. They were legitimately just like, you know what? We're not even going to let this guy get any time to throw the ball. Engage 8 this guy up. Of course, Caleb takes sacks. In some instances, I thought he could have got the ball out a little bit faster. But also, too, I thought, and I'll get to Thomas Brown in a second, too. You know, I was, I'm just like, bro, what? They can't do anything right. They can't run the ball. They can't block. They can't pass. Caleb Williams, I've been defending him as of late, but I can't give him no defense tonight. He was god awful tonight, just missing people all over the place. Yeah, could pressure have played a factor in that? Yes. But regardless, it was god awful. It was terrible. There was passes where I'm like, where the fuck is he throwing to? His streak gets broken up, his interception streak, so who the fuck cares? He just threw it up as a prayer and everything. Of course, it got intercepted, but regardless, it's a complete joke. It's a complete joke. Like stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. It was a completely winnable game. Defense was fine. You only hold the Seattle Seahawks offense to 6 points, so you make up for what you did last week in losing to the Lions and getting ran out of the building. So there's that. You forced some turnovers, but your offense ain't there to do anything because they can't get anything generated. Because your quarterback can't fucking complete a goddamn pass. Your offensive line can't freaking block. You can't get nothing started in the run game. It's a whole mess. Whole mess. Receivers dropping passes. It's a whole mess. Whole mess. The defense still needs to be fixed from a defensive line perspective. That definitely needs to get better. But the offense just needs a whole new everything. They need a new voice. They need a new game plan. They need a smart, competent play caller in the building who knows what he's doing. And frankly, they just need a goddamn head coach. Thomas Brown was god awful tonight. His play calling reminded me of Luke Getsy and Shane Waldron combined. I just got off the phone with my dad, but the way Thomas Brown he played called knowing that, well, I got 2 more games left, so who cares at this point? I know I'm not going to be here, after next week, so who the hell, Matt? Who the hell cares? He just play called just to randomly play call. And honestly, he was throwing, I don't know, man. He was play calling a lot of stupid bubble screens and shit like that. And I'm like, dog, why are we calling these constant bubble screens? Can we actually throw the ball down the field? Now, I don't know that's because he didn't trust his offensive line to hold strictly. And I don't know if he also is a sign of showing like he can't trust Caleb Williams to throw the ball down the field because of his inaccuracy. But every chance I saw, I'm like, he's throwing a fucking screen pass. And the moment the Seattle Seahawks basically, oh, they're just throwing screens, just key on the screens. All right, we'll do that. They basically blew that up. I don't know what Thomas Brown was doing tonight. He had no game plan tonight. It was just basically what I saw from Getsy and Waldron the past few years. And it's basically, well, I'll just call these plays and hopefully they work. And, if that works, that works. He literally played called like he knew, well, I won't be here next after the Packer game, so why do I care anymore? We've lost how many straight? Oh, well, yeah. There's nothing I can do. So that's what he's play called. Like his play calling each and every week, let's be honest, has been worse since he left the booth. So maybe it was a mistake to make him the interim head coach and take him from going from the booth to back on the field. Maybe, and just maybe, Eric Washington or Richard Hightower should have been the interim head coach. Because clearly it looks like for Thomas Brown, he's weighing over his head, and he probably should have just been the interim offensive coordinator so he stays in the booth, and maybe the offense doesn't look like dog crap now. Because remember, he had that offense humming when he was up in the booth. Now he get back down on the field, he don't know what he's doing anymore. And the offense has progressively gotten worse since then. So there's that. Caleb Williams, nothing else to say. He was god awful tonight. Nothing else to say from him. The offensive line was just bad. Jake Curran, my God. He took away a fucking touchdown. Oh, I forgot to mention about Thomas Brown too. So there was two fucking blunders that Thomas Brown that I was just scratching my goddamn head at. So on the last drive of the game, this idiot. So one, it's fourth and inches. Okay. One, I did not like the fact that legitimately almost every time he got a chance to, they just punted the ball. They never went for it on fourth fucking down. That pissed me off tonight. And I'm just like, dude, you have nothing else to lose for. You have nothing to play for. Go for it on fourth down, even if it's fourth and 30. What else do you got to play for? If you start getting blown out because you put your defense on a short field, who cares? You have nothing else to play for. Go for it every time on fourth down until you get it, right? He kept punting the ball. This loser on fourth and inches, we draw Jake Kern again, messes everything up. He cost us a touchdown, which realistically, when you look at it, that touchdown could have been the game-winning touchdown. The one touchdown we got, and we would have won that game. But no, Jake Curran's holding loses us the game outside of the other bad stuff that lost the game. But that holding call basically is the difference maker. So he gets called for a false start. I don't know why you're jumping on fourth and inches. No idea why. So then what happens is, and this told me, I'm like, okay, yeah, Thomas Brown is not, if I was the Bears, if I'm Ryan Paul's still here, if I'm Kevin Warren, who's overseeing this search, right? I'm not even giving Tom, after I saw that performance and the fact that we're on this losing streak, I wouldn't even give Thomas Brown a fucking interview. I'd just be like, thank you, here's your last check. You can go back home. Sorry, but you will not be getting it. We like your attitude, but you're not getting an interview. And truly, 100%, this is when I knew, like, oh, if I was anybody in the Bears brass that is smart in there, I'm not giving him an interview one bit. Not one bit. So, because we get the false start, I'm like, okay, just go for it on fourth and five. All right, whatever. This dude brings off the fucking offense and puts the punt team out there. And I'm just like, what are you fucking doing? I'm like, okay, yeah, all right now. Now you're doing this bitch shit that is no different than what Matt Eberflus did. And that again tells me that you can't change nothing because a new guy's in the freaking building, a new voice is in the building. Because all those remnants on that coaching staff is everything that was basically internal or integral to Matt Eberflus. The same bitch shit that Matt Eberflus did all season long, it's the same shit that I saw Thomas Brown do. And because of this, the fans erupt in boos. You can clearly tell in the broadcast that they're chanting, sell the team, sell the team, sell the team, right? And then all of a sudden, Thomas Brown calls a timeout. And I'm just like, dude, are you serious? So guess what? If you don't pick up this fourth down, you basically lose the game. Because you just blew your last time out. This guy calls the timeout and then he brings the offense back. And at that point, I'm just like, are you fucking serious, dude? Are we serious? Now you bring the offense back? You should have just kept the offense on the field. But it took you until the fans started booing and the fans started chanting, sell the team for you to get back them on the field. Completely Stupidity right there. And that shows you the dysfunction that is with not only within this organization, but also within this coaching staff. Because again, the remnants of Matt Eberflus, they did not know what to do. And we talked about it when Thomas Brown was first hired. My thing was, okay, how are you going to handle a situation that was differently than how Eberflus ended the freaking Washington situation and the freaking Detroit situation on Thanksgiving Day? Well, what I saw today on that last drive was no different than what I saw from Eberflus in those two instances. He didn't know how to manage the game. He didn't know what to do. He was shell shocked, and he was kind of put on the spot. And he was like, what do I do here? We'll punt it, guys. Oh, we can't punt? Oh, frick. That's right. We only got 1 minute left to go in the game. Hey, timeout, timeout. And then a few plays later, of course, because we pick up the first down, a few plays later, we just let the clock tick, 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 tick. I'm like, are we watching the freaking lines? Even the broadcasters, Herb Street and freaking Al Monger's like, I know Bear fans don't want to remember this, but this is giving me memories of Detroit. And I'm like, don't tell me this guy is gonna do the exact same thing like fucking not Nagy, Eberflus. He's gonna let the clock tick, tick, tick. He's not gonna go for the win. He's gonna go for the fucking field goal. Because that's what it looked like he was doing. And guess what? You're letting the clock run down. And I'm like, dude, what are we doing here? And at that point, I'm just like, get him out. I'm like, have him coach against the Packers next week and tell him, thank you for your service. Thank you for holding the fort down the best you can. Go back home to Atlanta or South Carolina or whatever, and we will not be giving you an interview. Thank you very much indeed. You know, that's everything. You should tell everybody on the coaching staff, you guys can go home. We're not bringing none of y'all back. Thank you. And then that's when you have a meeting with the entire players. You just tell the players, you just tell the coaches in Green Bay, hey, get on the bus, head out. Thomas, go do your interview. Get on the bus, leave, let the players stay here. We'll talk to them, and then we'll move on. You guys ain't coming back, right? That's what I would tell the coaches. I would literally say, like, I don't care. You guys get to the bus. You guys are gone. The moment you touch Hallis Hall, grab your belongings from any offices you guys may have, and guess what? You guys are not coming back. Go home, stay there. We will not be giving you guys a call. You all are terminated. You tell Thomas Brown in Green Bay, go do your press conference, go with the other coaches, go on the bus. We'll talk to the players. And then that's when Kevin Warren and Brian Poles, or if Ryan Poles is gonna be gone or fired after, the Green Bay game or the Monday after the Green Bay game, right? It'll probably just be Kevin Warren. That's when you have to address the team. And honestly, oh, actually, no, I don't want the McCaskies in there. I don't want George in there. That's when Kevin Warren or Ryan Poles need to be in there and be like, hey, I just want to apologize for everything we, as an organization, we didn't do in the best interest of you players. I'm not saying we're going to get it right, but we're going to really reevaluate what we did when we did wrong. We would like to get some feedback from you guys, and we'll go into this head coaching search, obviously with your recommendations and your eyes and your everything you guys have going on, right? So there's that. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I tell the coaching staff, get out of the locker rooms. Thomas, go handle your press conference. Get on the fucking bus. Get back to Hallis Hall. The moment Hallis Hall is done, pack your belongings. Go home. You're all terminated. That's it. That's it. And again, this all falls at the feet of fucking Ryan Poles. All falls at the feet of Ryan Poles. It's a joke. It's a joke. And Ryan Poles on the ESPN 1000 interview he has with Jeff Joniak. Hold on a quick second, guys. Um, he was asked the question, I guess, about I didn't listen to it, but he was asked a question, I'm guessing, about all these issues that have been happening. One of the things he was asked about the question about the late start, And he actually had the audacity to say some of it stems back to training camp, and things not being addressed. Now, if you remember, Keenan Allen made a comment after Waldron got fired, talking about like, well, he was a nice guy, but you know, some of the stuff that some of the stuff that we didn't agree with, it was dating back to training camp, right? And your GM, who mind you is, I guess you can say right now, in a very hot seat, which he should probably lose his job after the season's over for his god awful like roster construction of the offense and defensive line. And if the Bears are willing to go for Ben Johnson, and if Ben Johnson is their number one candidate, and they're like, we need to get this guy in this building, and if Ben Johnson says like, I'll take a deal with you guys, I'll work with you guys, but he's not he can't be here. I'm not gonna have him be my GM. And if Kevin Warren's in that and looks at Ryan Poles and be like, sorry, Ryan, but we got to do what's in the best interest of the Bears, and we got to do this. You're fired. But realistically, Kevin Warren should fire Ryan Poles, and they showed Ryan Poles obviously twice in his little fucking suite. One time he was like smiling, and the other time he looked all serious and everything. Yeah, funny. Somebody must have told him, "Hey, dude, they actually turned the camera on you while you were kind of cackling a bit." And then guess what? The second time he's stone faced. Fire this guy after Green Bay. He does not deserve to be here anymore. But I find it very funny how this guy is on a massive hot seat. He's trying to save his ass. That comment was literally a way to save his ass and say, well, look, coaches didn't address that in a training camp, so that's probably a reason why. Well, then, see, and the problem is, it's Jeff Joniak asking the goddamn question. He basically works for the Bears. So he ain't gonna ask him the hard-hitting questions. If you actually had a legit reporter, a good follow-up question would be like, well, if that's the case, then why did you hire the coaches that were on this staff that accumulated to these bad issues in training camp? Why did you hire them? Why did you not just fire Eberflus after last season when you knew I'm not going to keep Justin? I'm going to get a new quarterback. Why not just fire Eberflus? And they showed that graphic today, dating back to Rex Grossman with Dick Duran. The whole carousel of drafting a quarterback with a lame duck head coach, only to fire a lame duck head coach, and get a new one for the quarterback's second year. 4 times that has happened. Caleb's the next guy, right? You think you would learn from your mistakes. But Ryan Poles, well, like that would be my question. Be like, well, then why did you hire these guys? You're the one that is their bosses, so why did you bring Eberflus back? When you knew damn well Eberflus wasn't checking his own staff members? Because clearly he wasn't, because he let his staff members have inappropriate activities within the organization. And Alan Williams and the former running backs coach for the Bears. And then he also goes on to say about the O-line injuries or just the O-line. It's been very challenging to overcome. It's another one of those things I need to reflect on so we can fix it and move forward. And he also made a comment talking about how this game is hard and challenging. It can throw you curveballs and send you to a place of reflection of what we can do to continue to improve. But I don't really care about that last thing. Well, of course, yeah. When shit goes off the rails, yeah, of course, you should look back and reflect. I'm like, oh, how much did I fuck up? But going back to the offensive line to end off this goddamn video, him talking about it's actually been challenging. Really challenging to overcome. He sounds like basically the entire fan base that complains about the offensive line, talking about how challenging it's been. But I remember back in the offseason, his dumbass said, this is the most depth we have at offensive line, period. I'm proud of this depth on the offensive line. Yeah, that offensive line depth is going to have your quarterback, if the Packers feel like it, can make him the NFL history record breaker in sacks taken. That is your depth of your offensive line. Your offensive line is about to give up the most sacks in NFL history. And I'm not saying every sack is on them. Most of the sacks are on Caleb. But regardless, at the end of the day, they can't even block up a goddamn blitz and account for another blitzer. And again, your starting offensive line tonight was Larry Borom as your left tackle, Jake Curran as your left guard because Tevin Jenkins, yet again, isn't able to play and he got hurt. I don't think the Bears will re-sign him because you can't trust him to stay healthy. So your left guard is Jake Curran, another backup. Larry Borom is a backup. Coleman Shelton as your center is a backup. Matt Pryor, who's a backup right guard. He's a backup level player. And then you got Darnell Wright, who's actually a starter caliber player. Out of those guys, there's only one guy on that offensive line I'm bringing back, and that's Darnell Wright. And coincidentally enough, he's been playing solid football. And coincidentally enough, he's a one offensive lineman that Ryan Poles actually spent a top pick on that actually hit. And I'm talking about not the third round. I'm talking about first two rounds, round one and round two. It's almost shocking. You draft a player, an offensive lineman in the first or second round, they usually end up being really goddamn good for you. But Ryan Poles so far has been going after guys in his tenure that are just backups. Jake Curran's a backup. Larry Borum's a backup. Kieran Amagadaji is a backup. Braxton Jones is a backup. Coleman Shelton is a backup. Ryan Bates is a backup. Lucas Patrick is a backup. Matt Pryor is a backup. Doug Kramer is a backup. Need I go more on? Riley Reef is a backup. I remember him from the first season. Every guy that Ryan Poles has gotten has been backups because they're paid like backups are, where they're on cheap ass contracts because they're just there for depth reasonings, for your all pro offensive lineman. And now you're realizing, oh, it's a fucking challenge when, you don't got an offensive line that can block for fucking 1 second. Well, that's your fault then. Because you're the one that got what you paid for. Got what you paid for. And now guess what? This entire offensive line completely needs a complete overhaul. I would completely get rid of everybody in that offensive line room except Darnell Wright. Everybody else can go. I said it before and I'll say it again. If Trey Smith hits free agency, I don't give a shit. Pay him whatever he wants. If he wants 80 goddamn guaranteed fucking dollars, give him the 80 goddamn guaranteed dollars. Or 80 million guaranteed dollars. I don't care. Anything you can do to fix this offensive line, do it. I don't care if you have to give a guy $100 million guaranteed. Anything you can do to fix this offensive line, do it. I don't want this dude, Caleb Williams, to get sacked again and be leading the league in sacks. Do whatever you can. But the stupid GM doesn't want to. He thinks going the cheap route will work. When you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you can take flyers and projects on guys and say, we got good talent. We got good coaching. They'll understand that we don't have the best offensive line. So they'll negate that issue. And also, to get rid of Chris Morgan. He sucks. I'm done. Anyways, I'm getting out of here. The only positive with this Bears season is we got one more game left till we finally can see, hopefully, the GM get fired. And then hopefully we can finally get into these off season so we can stop all this speculation of who's interested and we can finally get reports on who's interviewed for the job and who hasn't. That's what I'm ready for. That's what I'm ready for. So I'm done. I'm done. I'm getting out of here, guys. I'm getting out of here. I'll be back next week to talk the last game of the season after the Bears play Green Bay. Me and my uncle should be on that video too. We'll talk about this failure of a season. We'll go in depth with everything that went wrong. I feel like I want to just do an entire season recap this year, you know, in next week's culmination. And I never want to fucking talk about Bears football until actual fucking moves are made in the offseason. It's a fucking disgrace. Disgrace. This team could be fucking better. But because people up top don't want to take their job seriously and understand we need to be better, what we're putting out here on this product on the field is not good enough. It's frankly not even acceptable. It's not even an NFL level product. Charles Tillman was sitting right next to Roger Goodell in tonight's game. Can Charles Tillman tell Roger Goodell, hey man, can you force the McCaskies to sell the team? I'm done, man. I was so hyped about this goddamn season, only to be let down yet again. But I should have seen it coming a mile away. The moment they decided to bring back Eberflus, that's when I knew, I'm like, you know what? I probably shouldn't get so high on this season. Obviously, you're gonna have the Justin Fields fanboys come out in droves talking about, well, Caleb Williams sucked. Again, he sucked. I'm not gonna deny that. But they're gonna say, see, this is why we should have just drafted and traded back and taken the whatever. We'd still be in the same situation regardless. And plus, their precious Justin Fields wasn't gonna fix this. He would be getting sacked just as much as, frankly, he would be getting sacked just as much as what Caleb's getting sacked like now. Simple as that. And then two, guess what? That means Ryan Poles would have got fired after this year. But I still think he should be fired after this year is over next week. So we'll see. I don't know if Green Bay is going to play any starters. If they want to just be like, you know what, let's finish these guys off for good and make them feel even shittier. They're going to play their starters, and they'll probably play their starters for maybe a half, and they'll put Malik Willis in there, have Malik Willis torch us and beat us. So, as much as I hate to say it, next week could potentially be a winnable game. At least you can ride some momentum going to next year, if you beat the Packers. But, I don't feel confident in that because Malik Willis, every time he's gone in there, he's looked fucking good. So, add Malik Willis to the list of Green Bay Packer, quarterbacks that are going to own the Chicago Bears. So, I'm getting out of here, guys. I'm done. I'll be back next week. Next Tuesday or something around that time, we'll be back with NFL predictions from my Uncle Daryl as we wrap up this season and we go into this off season, myriad in questions. So, anyways, I'm done. Till then, guys, stay safe out there, hit that subscribe button, and sell the goddamn team, McCaskies. Sell the team. Peace.